As the war in Ukraine enters its second year, China is trying to distance itself from the perception that it supports Russian hostilities and that it benefits from economic ties with Moscow, even amid strict Western sanctions against Russia. Beijing has even positioned itself as a potential broker of peace between Russia and Ukraine, releasing a 12-point ceasefire plan in February.
So the proposal really didn't contain many new points, if any. It was mainly, restatement of statements that China's top leader Xi has made in the past, and it also contained, many kind of platitudes that are really hard to argue with. That nuclear war is bad and should be avoided, and that peace is good, and that China is on the side of peace, and that everyone should stick to the UN Charter and uphold, the international rules.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg both reacted skeptically to the proposal, saying no solution should allow Russia to rest and rearm.
China's been trying to have it both ways. It's, on the one hand, trying to present itself publicly as neutral and seeking peace, while at the same time, it is talking up Russia's false narrative about the war.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reacted more positively, saying he did not view it as a concrete plan, but a productive gesture. But despite this outreach, Biden officials have sounded an alarm, saying that China is contemplating lethal military aid to Russia in the form of artillery shells.
Some further information that we are sharing today, and that I think will be out there soon, that indicates that they are strongly considering providing lethal assistance to Russia,
which Beijing vehemently denied. But days later, one of Russia's closest allies, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, met with China's leader, Xi Jinping, in Beijing.
Observers expect that Lukashenko could act as a messenger on behalf of Putin to China's top leader, Xi Jinping. And the two countries, China and Belarus, also have a relationship of their own. China has worked hard to cultivate a relationship with Belarus. The country is strategically located on the doorstep of Europe, and China hopes that they can build a railway depot to deliver Chinese goods into Europe.
China is maximizing its strategic interest in its approach to Russia, analysts say.
China has really been growing closer to Russia economically, especially in the past year.
Russian-Chinese relations are developing just as we planned in previous years. Everything is moving forward, developing, and we are reaching new milestones.
Trade between the two countries rose to a record $190 billion last year and increased for several months straight after the invasion. So you could really see that there was a direct economic benefit to China for not sanctioning Russia.
Although crisis and chaos appear from time to time, crisis has opportunities, and crisis can be turned into opportunities.
Beijing could also be taking advantage of its relationship with Moscow by flexing its diplomatic muscle in an attempt to position itself as a global superpower.
This achieves another one of Beijing's primary aims, which is to show other countries that, in this new era, as she calls it, it's not just the rules-based international order that the U.S. worked so hard to cultivate, that actually, China is a powerful country that can withstand the opprobrium of the West, and, getting closer to smaller countries like Belarus that have historically been overlooked by that rules-based international order is another thing in Beijing's strategic advantage. And so that's what they're really looking for out of the situation.